Hey guys, and welcome back to the Thundering One in Path of Exile. This is an Arc Hierophant Templar build, lightning build, and I was asked a few times now to show the POB, but there is no POB, so I thought I explained the build. I did that on the last live stream, but I actually forgot a few things, so I'm gonna do it again, just for you guys. So like I said, there is no POB for this build, but I can just go over how I skilled it, and I actually put the recording of my mouse back on, because normally that is offline, that is not displayed on stream. So actually you can see better where I'm going here. This is otherwise it's a little bit confusing, I guess. So this is Templar. You start out in this corner down here, and at the start I checked those elemental damage, knots, and retribution for just more damage, just straight out more damage. After that one, I went up to life, disciple, and training, and to more damage, elemental resistances, and yeah, more damage, strength, and intelligence, of course. After that one, I did not go down here. This one I checked way later. So after this one, I went up here for this knot and up this way. And I didn't check those at the start, and this is actually reskilled. I went up here for mana and arcane surge, because you make a lot of use of arcane surge. It's actually really good to increase my maximum mana and increase the effect of arcane surge on me, and increase mana reservation efficiency of skills. You don't need that at the start. You can reskill into that. You could just take recover 10% of mana, or regenerate my 5 mana per second at the beginning, something like that, which will be useful, or reduce costs of skills, like more or less everything. But for me, as I'm using a lot of very expensive auras, later increase mana reservation efficiency of skills is of course better. Same goes here this way. That is the same thing. You don't need to skill into this right at the beginning, but later on, I'm not sure when I started to skill into this. I guess maybe Act 4, yeah, 4, 5 maybe, when I put that one up. I guess you could check this early with 8% increased damage for each of your aura or herald skills affecting you, to get a little bit of damage on early. But later, auras from your skills have 10% increased effect on you. Is way better to get the higher bonuses, especially the defensive bonuses of determination and disciple. That is way more useful. Zealot's Oath, I didn't check that at the beginning. That you check that way later, when you can actually, if you have found a way to get around chaos damage. So I'm using chaos inoculation. So of course Zealot's Oath makes sense. Life regeneration is applied to energy shield, because I only have 1 life and I don't get damage on my HP. So yeah, you go up this way. Don't check that one. That's for way later. Again, this one also later. You don't have to check this one at the start as well. Those are all pretty late when I check those ones for energy shield. So at the beginning I had those ones for leveling, for increased maximum life and elemental resistances. Later you can just reskill this. This one's pretty good. You don't need it at the beginning. I would actually go for when the time comes. You should, I guess I had the first labyrinth done. So for minimum power charges, increase damage per power charge, also increase damage per endurance frenzy and power charge. And when you get the first labyrinth, you check this one, which will give you 4 minimum endurance charges and 4 minimum power charges, and 1 to maximum power charge and endurance charges. Because normally you only have 3 as a maximum, then you can have those 4 that the skill will give you. And because you get +1 from this one, you also check this next. Go down here. So now you have 5 permanently. Go down this way and get this mana knot, which will increase your spell damage per maximum mana up to 40%. Also very useful. Pretty good. After that one, you just wander over here If you're a little bit bad in your survivability, I guess if vitality and stuff is not enough, or you just don't have anything that leeches a little bit of spell damage or damage, just flat damage, back to you, this spell damage, energy shield leech is really nice to check in between. And I go over this jewel stuff later, but not right now. Also, this one was pretty late. This is a big jewel. We go over that later. You can go down here. Didn't check those 3 at the beginning. I'm investing points right there, right now. And one is missing, but I'm going to do that later. You can go down here for leveling, really nice, increase maximum energy shield and increase maximum life. Don't need that right now, but I'm actually thinking about reskilling. So yeah, there's some points I need to redo and change. As soon as you have enough energy shield and you have enough, you have chaos inoculation or like ivory tower. I used ivory tower for a while when I didn't lock up that much mana, but instead HP. You can go for Ghost Reaver, of course, which will double your energy shield leech, but you cannot recharge energy shield, which is fine, because at that point you should also skill Zala's Oath, so your life regeneration applies to energy shield instead. You go down this way and check the last maximum power charge on the skill tree, and then you're actually fine with most of the stuff. So you don't need those, and this stuff up here for leveling. It's just not needed. So like I said just a moment ago, I started playing the end game, with Ivory Tower, so I skilled, of course, this way down here and played with Pain Attunement. And of course, because Ivory Tower gives you maximum energy shield for reserved life, I had this one checked as well for increased maximum life and increased maximum energy. We don't need that anymore because we're playing with Chaos Inoculation, which negates all chaos damage, but you only have 1 HP. So yeah, you lose all HP. But okay, so far so good for the skill tree for now. I'm gonna go on the equipment. And I'm going to start with this one. This is Incandescent Heart. It is a armor energy shield, a chest piece, and this is pretty mandatory for at least I think so. For my build, because this one has 25% of elemental damage taken from hits as chaos damage. That is pretty relevant, because now 25% of all elemental damage is negated, because we don't take chaos damage. We're immune to chaos damage. So 25%, yeah, that's like 1/4. That's quite a lot. Not too. It's pretty good. Also, this gives us light radius based on energy shield instead of life, which is nice, because otherwise you would have to get that through another item, or I'm pressing the wrong buttons. You would have to get this from Mastery. And if you don't need to get this from Mastery, you can take those 2 that I have checked here instead. 100% increased energy shield from equipped helmet and regenerate 2% of energy shield per second, which is pretty nice as well. Yeah. Okay, next thing. My rings aren't that important. It's just increased elemental damage and elemental resistances. And this one actually gives attributes, lightning resistance, mana generation rate, reduced effect of curses, pretty nice, but mainly regenerate 3 life per second per level. So this one gives me 300 life regeneration, which is it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat like this. There is a better ring, but it's very expensive, and maybe later if I'm rich. No. For the belt, I have Doriana's Invitation. This is a heavy belt. There's multiple versions of this one. Every version will increase a different type of damage and give different resistances. So the lightning damage version gives fire and cold resistance, while I have the lightning resistance ring on there, but also 0.6% of lightning damage reach as life, and chance to shock during any flask effect is not important at the moment. But what is important is that we stack up power charges, because that's our main source of damage. yeah, and there is that's when we talk about the boots. This is the replica of Inya's Epiphany, and it gives you increased intelligence, pretty nice for more mana and more energy shield. Also increased damage per power charge, 5%, regenerate 0.5% of life per second per power charge, and of course increased movement speed per power charge, pretty nice. So yeah, gives us in total with the 10 power charges that I have, 50% increased movement speed, 5% life regeneration, and 50% increased damage per power charge. The next thing, I guess, would then be a Void Battery. This is a wand. At the start, I used 2 of those in dual wielding. This has, well, let's see. So 36 to 40% increased spell damage as implicit modifier, but it also has 80% reduced spell damage. And the important part here is actually +1 maximum power charges, of course, but also 25% increased spell damage per power charge. So if you play the Hierophant, you have 4 with those passive skill trees, passive points. You have 5 minimum power charges right off the bat. So you undo those 80% reduced spell damage at the 4th power charge, just with the wand, just with the Void Battery. When the Void Battery is outscaling its deficit, or yeah, its drawback, right, and up, and then you actually just gain more damage for every power charge you gain. Yeah, okay, so the Crown of the Inward Eye is our helmet. I'm sorry, this is the first time that I'm trying to explain the whole build, so yeah, I'm a little bit I'm trying. This has increased armored energy shield. It's an armored energy shield helmet. It has global increased maximum life mana and energy shield up to 21% -20, so it's pretty good. This one, I had a cheaper one earlier, which only had 10%, but still. You also get the Transfiguration of Soul, Body, and Mind, which will increase your spell damage, attack damage, and damage, flat damage, for increases and reductions of maximum mana, life, and energy shield. So it's pretty useful. It's really good. Next one is, I'm gonna go with this one first. This is Owl's Uprising. This is an Onyx amulet. It's from Delve. It gives maximum. It gives bonus attributes, increased maximum energy shield, and maximum life. Good, I don't need that one right now. But really important is Wrath has no reservation. So Wrath is a pretty big aura. It's a 50% base reservation aura, which will give you more lightning spell damage and added lightning damage to attacks. But the more spell lightning damage is just really, really good. We are also running a shitload of other auras like Zealotry, Disciple, Herald of Thunder, Determination, and actually Tempest Shield. And we can do that because we have Enlighten support 2 times, actually, 2 times. I found those actually myself. I think I was lucky. Actually, I have a 3rd one, which I'm using on a Twink right now. Yeah, it's a cool gem, really useful for people who like to stack auras like me. But okay, let's go. Last item is Malakai's Loop. It is a energy shield. It has a chance to block attack damage. It also has increased spell damage, increased energy shield, +2 maximum power charges, and yeah, chance to gain power charge on hit, but also 16 increased spell damage per power charge. So it's a little bit similar to Void Battery. You gain more maximum damage with a second battery, so like the damage gain will go further up, but with the defensive bonuses here with the energy shield. And another power charge is a little bit, yeah, it's still pretty good. I'd say it's still pretty good. The drawback on this item is lose all power charges on reaching maximum power charges and shocks you when reach maximum power charges. So the way that works is every time you gain a power charge, right? If you gain the last power charge you can get, you lose everything until you're back to minimum power charges. So if I wouldn't have, my minimum is my maximum right now. So if that wasn't the case, if I reached the 10th, I would lose everything except for 5. So I would lose 5 and get shocked myself, unless I'm immune to shock. That doesn't happen because of the jewels we're running. And we go back here. We are running 3 grand spectrums. 2 of those are cobalt jewels plus 1 to minimum power charges per grand spectrum. So we get plus 6 minimum power charges. So actually I could have 11 stable, but I only have 10 because I'm missing plus 1 maximum power charge. And I need another item that does that, so I get more damage. And the third one is 7% to all elemental resistances. That could be, I would like to have a frenzy charge one that gives minimum frenzy charges, because I think otherwise I could get frenzy charges like that, which would be pretty neat. But 7% to all elemental resistances is okay. It's fine. We also have a Militant Faith Timeless Jewel converted by High Templar Dominus, and this will change one of the bigger keystones into Inner Conviction, 3 more spell damage per power charge, and gain power charges instead of frenzy charges. And now you might think, hey, didn't he just say he wants to get frenzy charges with another Grand Spectrum? Yes. The thing is, you get minimum. It doesn't have to do with gaining or losing frenzy charges. It's just you get them, because it's a minimum. That's how I would get the frenzy charges. At least I hope so. I don't know for sure, but I hope that would work and give me even a little bit more damage. But okay, and cast speed would be pretty cool. But okay, so like this, we gain even more damage per power charge. Which is great. We also have a Watcher's Eye, which increased maximum energy shield, maximum life, and maximum mana. Regenerate energy shield per second while affected by Disciple. I have Disciple, so that works. 50% increased lightning damage while affected by Wrath. We also have that. So that was yeah. Some of this stuff is a little bit expensive. You can buy, but you can get most of this either from drops, because Malachi's Loop drops quite a lot. Incandescent Heart is a little bit more rare, and Void Battery is pretty rare, but it's also not that expensive to buy. I farmed the belt myself, and this one I bought as well, I think for 1 chaos or something. Normally that's not a big old problem, but most of this stuff will cost you chaos orbs, so it's not that expensive so far, at least. Yeah, not when I did it. I don't know. For the rest of your ascendancy points, so let's go over that for a moment. No, actually, let's do the cluster jewel first. I'm sorry. Let's go for the cluster jewel first. So this, not sure if I keep this one, but this one does increased lightning damage, plus to all attributes, increased mana generation, and it has prismatic heart, which I have not checked right now. This gives you elemental resistances and increased elemental damage. One of those jewel sockets is one of the grand spectrums, and the other one is a foe splinter, small cluster jewel, which gives increased armor, but also gives you uncompromising. Uncompromising reduces the mana reservation efficiency, increased mana reservation efficiency of determination, which is a big aura as well. Yeah. Okay, now for the Ascendancy class. So we are a Hierophant. Like I said before, the first thing you check is Conviction of Power, which is extremely useful and will give you the power to just rush through the campaign, no problem whatsoever, at least not with Arc. I was actually strong enough to beat the second Labyrinth before I beat the first Kitava fight, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Makes you really strong. So after that one, I went to Divine Guidance, increased maximum mana, 10% of damage is taken from mana before life, also Transfiguration of Mind, which you otherwise get from this helmet way later, but like this you get it earlier, so maximum mana also applies to damage, 30% of the value, pretty neat. For the third one, I got Sanctuary of Thought, gain 20% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield. So if I would get a little bit more mana, I could also gain more energy shield from that as well and more damage. Same here, also 25% increase mana efficiency of skills and 1% increase area effect per 50 unreserved maximum mana up to 100%. That doesn't matter anymore because I don't have any. But also 50% less mana cost of skills, which is really, really cool because you can see I have only 234 mana at this point. And I regenerated really, really fast. Most of the time, if I'm standing in a mana leech, I can just fight on. It doesn't really matter to me because I have enough mana regeneration. The last thing we do is Arcane Blessing. Arcane Surge grants 20% more spell damage to you and gain Arcane Surge when you or your totems hit an enemy with a spell. This is great because normally Arcane Surge takes up a support jewel slot, and like this, I have one free again. Which is great because we really need them. So for the jewels, I have my 6th link, we have Arc, Power Charge and Critical Support, we have Spell Echo, Awakened, added lightning damage in this case. Normally, of course, you would go with the normal added lightning damage, increased critical damage. I would actually don't take that one if I wouldn't have those power charges. Otherwise, also to gain the power charges, if you have not stabilized them, you would need a critical somewhere. I had the same thing going on the stream. Increase critical strike support, because this will give you just higher, way higher crit chance, and lightning penetration support. So for leveling, most of the time you don't have a 6th link. Sometimes you have like a tabula rasa or something, but most of the time you will have a 4. So of course you will have Arc, hopefully you will have Power Charge and Crit, because this also gives you deal more damage per power charge, 4%, really important, really nice. And if you don't have Spell Echo, faster casting, I guess would be really nice. Until you're in Act 4, you get Spell Echo, then Spell Echo is of course better. And after that one, the other Crit Gem, that will be enough. As soon as you get the 6th link going or 5th link going, you add those other ones in. And as soon as you have enough base crit from the power charges, you just go with increased critical damage support, because it's just more damage, straight up more damage. What other jewels do we have? We have Cast When Damage Taken with Molten Shell, and this is just the Wrath. I don't need to have anything to the Wrath because it has no reservation. Sorry. I used, when I was using more mana with the Ivory Tower, of course, I used Arcane, what is it? Arcane Shield? Mana Shield? I totally forgot what it said. It's a, I don't remember. Is it here somewhere? Pitching Spirit, Orb of Storms, no. Steel Skin. Steel Skin I used in between. Frostblink, let's see. Guard. Ah, there it is. Arcane Cloak. So earlier I used Arcane Cloak, but when I locked up all my mana and I got Determination going, I went over to use Molten Shell because it's just better. To make really good use of Molten Shell, you have to have a shitload of armor, and we have 17,679. We have estimated physical reduction of 90%. So yeah, this is good enough. This is good enough. Yeah, it's more than Steel Skin does, so that's how it works. If you want to see how it looks without Determination, then it's like this, and it's only 5,065% reduction. Like this, it's just great. It's just great. But okay, yeah, I think that's it. I think that is how it works. So you stack up your power charges to gain more damage through power charges. So I guess actually this would work with every jewel that is really good with crit, every normal spell. So I can, sometimes I switch Arc to Crackling Lance, because Crackling Lance just deals a lot more damage than Arc, but it's worse in my opinion for mapping, because Arc will just hit. It will just hit always everything until it doesn't chain anymore. Same goes for Val Arc. Yeah, that's the same thing. But okay, let's go for the other stuff. That was just before I lose it again, because I'm a total scatterbrain. I'm sorry. So on my gauntlets, I have Determination, Enlighten Support, Tempest Shield, and Disciple. On my boots, we have Herald of Thunder, Enlighten Support, and Zealotry. And on the loop, I have Ray Spectre. Right now, I use that to get Spectres for my minion builds. Sometimes Frost Wall and Flame Dash. Yeah, this one, we had this one. And here we have Increased Duration Support, Hextouch Support, Hydrosphere, and Conductivity. Of course, earlier I used what is that? It makes the hex into a AoE effect on the ground. But this one is actually better. It does around the same from the Drench debuff, and the lowered effect of Conductivity from Hextouch does about the same reduction in lightning resistance, but it still deals a little bit more damage. And it's kind of funny to summon this thing around. It's a ball of water, guys. It's a ball of water. It's great. Frost Wall I put in later. This is actually something that I used a lot when I played the game for the first time. I think it is very, very useful to shut off if you're just kind of in a pinch. It's really useful, and also to block a lot of projectiles and other stuff that is floating around. Really, really useful. For flasks, of course, we have a Granite Flask with a little bit more spell leech. We have the Sorrow of the Divine, which is a Sulfur Flask, increased damage. And yeah, you get Zealous Oath from this one. So if I could get a Mage Blood, I could unlock one passive skill point if I would put Sulfur Flask this one inside there. But I don't think I would do that. I think there's better use with the Mage Blood. We also have a Silver Flask for Onslaught to gain Onslaught. Also gives me immunity to Bleeding and Corrupt Blood during effect. Same goes for my Quicksilver Flask. And we have Aziri's Promise. Oh, I haven't raised the quality of this one to maximum. Interesting. This one gives Chaos Resistance. I used that a lot earlier, but actually what I do use this for is also gain 6% of elemental damage as extra Chaos, and 2% of Chaos damage leached as life during effect, so it's leached as Energy Shield. Yeah, and gain 8% of physical. We don't deal physical, but I would say, oh, you don't deal any chaos. Oh, we deal a little bit of chaos, because we actually gain 60% of elemental damage as extra chaos damage from a chest piece. Yay! So we get just a little bit more damage and a little bit more leech out of that if we put it all on. Also, this one, it has the wrong. Yeah, there's still, I can still put in more currency into this build. Like, if I could, I guess I would get a Precursor's Emblem to get the 11th power charge as well. That I would do. Of course, a Mage Blood. I mean, Mage Blood is just so good. it's so good. yeah. I guess in a lot of builds, a Mage Blood is just insane. And like I said, I would really like to try that Frenzy Charge jewel to see if that works. That would increase the damage again. At least for this build, I guess then more or less the maximum is raised. Oh yeah, for the later points, I'm sorry, I'm scatterbrain. I forget stuff. I forget a lot of stuff. For the later points, you can check those. Tensity, increased armor, maximum energy shield, regenerate life per second, strength and intelligence, strength, and glancing blows. Like this, while I don't have any more block chance anywhere, and I would have to get it somewhere, I still have, together with Tempest Shield, 46% to block attack damage and 55% to chance to block spell damage. It's not maxed. For that I would need 12% more, a little bit more, 15 around that on both. Get that, but right now it's not in my currency stash tab to make that happen quickly. So yeah, I will we'll have to wait a little bit. But okay, yeah, that is how my build works at the moment. I reskilled this build a few times in between because this is total trial and error here. I'm not using a POB, I'm not using a guide. It's just trying until you find a good solution. But okay, the main idea behind this was actually to stack power charges. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful. I hope I don't forget to put timestamps into the video description so you can check this a little bit faster or whatever you want to see. Yeah, like if you only want to see the equipment or whatever. Hopefully I don't forget. But okay. And of course, I hope to see you next time in another video. And until then, it is bye-bye.